Can you describe for me your wounding, when that happened, where you were?
Well, I was up there the 13th day. I was on the 13th day. I was sitting on a ledge. It was like a little dugout there. And I was sitting on this here ledge, and I don't know if I had a can of beans or something like that I was putting there trying to get warm and get hot. All you had to do, dig about a foot in the ground, put your can in there, put it in there, and 5 minutes later it was red hot because it was sulfur.
Oh, okay.
It was sulfur in there. But I was in there and I was sitting there like that, and I was waiting for that, and I'm talking to my two buddies that was in the side. Like I was sitting like this,
Okay.
and they were sitting here up on the side of me, right? And I was up a little higher, and I reached over to get the cans like that, and all of a sudden I put my hands to the face, like that, and I think it was Paul By. I'm not sure. He grabbed me by the back of the collar like that and pulled me down. And he went down and he hollered, "Sniper." I remember that. He hollered, "Sniper." And they are for a corpsman, and the corpsman come on. I don't even remember the corpsman being there. Like that. I was semi-conscious. I was off and on.
Okay.
I was off and on. Sometimes I was wide awake. Other times I didn't know where I was at.
Do you have any idea where the shot came from?
Yeah. We were about 200, 300 yards away. We were in an open plain. I forget what they called it on the. It was like a basin. It was all open, and we went from there like that up into this here volcanic ridge. There was a volcanic ridge there, and when that shot went in, they knew just about where it came from. And when they hollered sniper, that's when they had a couple of our snipers go up and look for him. I don't know if they ever got him or not.
Okay.
I don't know. Because when I got shot, after I got shot, they come in, they took it down. Next thing I knew, I was going from there to. I don't remember the corpsman being there taking care of me or not. I don't know. He must have gave me morphine. Because I couldn't remember too much.
That was the typical treatment, is to give you morphine for a serious.
More or less. I imagine he did. I'm not sure he did, but I imagine he would because of pain. You know, that was one of the most first things that they usually do.
Where did the bullet pass through?
Went through the side, the right side of my jaw, came out the left side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you taken to the beach next?
Yeah, I was put on a stretcher. I remember being on the stretcher going out, and I remember raising my thumb up. I don't know I was okay. And I don't remember going to being on the beach. After that, I passed out again.
Okay.
They carried me there. I don't even remember that going on the beach. Then the only thing I remembered after that was I think it was an LCVP, on a stretcher out to a ship that took me aboard this hospital ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
From there, where did they transfer you?
I went from the hospital ship. I went into Saipan. They took the Saipan. I was in Saipan for.
Took you by sea or by air?
No, that was by ship. That was by hospital ship. They were taking troops back to Saipan. Wounded troops.
Okay.
Okay. And we were in there I was in there for a couple of days or something like that till they got me transportation out. And I flew out from there. I flew out to Honolulu, in Hawaii.
Where did they perform surgery? Do you know where? Was that on board the ship? Or
No, that was in the hospitals. Yeah. Everything that was taken care of was in the hospitals. Actually, I didn't have any surgery.
Okay.
I had my mouth. I couldn't open my mouth for like the width of a slice of bread. My teeth. But I was like that for 5 months, and I was on a liquid diet. And then they sent me back to Aiea Heights Hospital. I was in Navy 110 at Honolulu,
Mm-hmm.
and I went from there. I was in there. I don't know how long I was in there, but I was eating soft food. I was eating liquid food, and had soup, anything liquid, because they were afraid if I was eating solid food, if I swallowed my tongue, I would have died.
Really?
I would have swallowed. I wouldn't have been able to save me. I'd have suffocated.
Okay.
Okay, but I was what I was doing. I was sneaking soft food. I was good. I'd never seen so much food in all my life. When I went in the first time, I went in at their mess room and mess hall in Honolulu in the hospital. I saw so much food. I wanted to eat it all.
It's understandable.
They had all kinds of meat. They had all kinds of vegetables. They had all kinds of desserts. They had everything. Anything you wanted to drink, anything but beer or whiskey. They wouldn't give you that. but like coffee or tea or anything like that, they had that. But what I would do, I would take the mashed potatoes. I would take them, make sure little mashed potatoes like that, and I would force them between my teeth, right? Mm-hmm. So I could eat them. I could get away with them, and and if I took meat, I'd cut it up in real tiny pieces. I could force between my teeth. That's what I was, and I was caught.
Okay. Yeah,
and there was a lieutenant, a Navy lieutenant. She was a dietitian. And when I went by, she knew my name. I don't know how she knew my name, but she knew my name. And she says, "You have any trouble? Are you?" No, she said to me, "Yeah, I want to see you after you're done eating." So when I went back, and there was this room, there must have been about 35, 40 guys back there. They must have the same problem.
Yeah.
So we went in, and she asked me, she said, "Are you having any trouble?" I said, I can eat soft if I can put it between my teeth. I said I can eat. She says, all right. She changed my diet from liquid to soft, and that's what I was on for 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any doctors or nurses who really stand out to you that really helped you?
Oh, two of them I remember. The doctors in when I was in Hawaii, I don't remember them. They were all the doctors. They were terrific. All the doctors were terrific. But then I went into, and then from there, I was sent from Hawaii, and there I was sent back to the States aboard an Army transport. I like this in because this is good. It was manned by a colonel. And it had army troops in it, and the troop or the crew on the ship was Merchant Marine, and the passengers on it was all us wounded people. It was Navy, Marines, and I got like one guy I knew. He was on the aircraft carrier Franklin that went down. That was bombed. That was sunk. And he was all burned up. This here ship was ordered back to the States because it refused to take ammunition to Iwo Jima. How would you like that? Wow. The Merchant Marines, they said they don't get paid for that. They don't get paid. The colonel come up and he wouldn't force it. So he was ordered back. He was ordered back to the States. I don't know what they ever done to him.
Wow.
Yeah. But what we told the Merchant Marines, we told them if we ever catch you on deck, we're going to throw you overboard, and that's what we would have done.
Yeah.
We would have thrown them overboard. But what they done, they locked us in the hole. They wouldn't let us on deck.
Wow.
And the stuff that we were eating was eggs, was so rotten. They were black. The eggs they were feeding were black, and all we lived on was bread and water for 5 days across the ocean.
So you were ready to get out.
Rather than eat that stuff, we couldn't eat it. It stunk. You went in. Well, you know what rotten eggs smell like. You know, you ever get a rotten egg? You smell like. Well, that's what that was. When you went in the mess hall, and that's what they had. this stuff was all created from the First World War and all. It was, well, they were eating, the crew, they were eating great.
Okay.
Yeah, they were great, but we weren't. But we told them, if we ever catch them on deck, that's what we're going to do, throw them overboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were bragging that they made so much money. They got paid for the cruise, whatever the cruise it was, whatever they got for that, I don't know. But every time that they went near a battle scene, they were compensated for. They got a percentage for doing that. And if an airplane flew if a Japanese airplane flew over their ship, they were compensated for that. They got more money for that because it was combat.
And here you were wounded from your combat.
Everybody was in that ship. Everybody who was with me on that ship was wounded one way or another. Yeah.
So you were ready to get back to the States.
Oh yeah, we got back. But when we got back into the States. We come in to San Francisco, and we got in there. And the Red Cross was giving us coffee and donuts, but we had to pay for them. They were supposed to be given to us, but we had to pay for them. We paid a dime for a cup of coffee and a nickel for a donut, and you couldn't eat or drink either one of them. The donuts were like rocks. The coffee was like mud. Yeah. But they thought so, and I haven't given anything to the Red Cross since. I don't like them. I don't like the Red Cross. No, but that's things that that happen. I guess some of them. So a lot of people was treated real well by the Red Cross, but not me. So not the way that I figured out anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd been injured at the Battle of Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
The American public was following this battle really closely.
Yeah.
Did your family know you were in the 5th Division?
Well, no, they didn't. No, they knew I was in the 5th Division, but they didn't know I was in the Iwo.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you first get word to them that you were alive? You were injured, but you were alive.
Well, after I got shot, I was aboard the ship. Then and this here priest came in, and we call them the chaplain or whatever it was on the ship, and he asked me if I wrote home. I said no. He gave me a piece of paper and a pencil, an envelope. He said, "I'll put the envelope on there." I says, "All right." He says. I said, "What are?" He says, "I don't." I said, "I don't want to tell him like that, He says, "You write." He says, "I don't care. You just tell him you're okay. You just say I'm okay." He said, "I don't care. That's all you put on there." He says, "But you put it on there." And he says, "You send this home." So that's what I did. And I don't know when they got but we had a congressman in here in New Jersey. Oh, that's my lady friend. Okay, and he mailed it, and I didn't want to mail it. I didn't want him to know. And then that's when I went back to the hospital. And then I didn't call him anymore like that. But this Congressman Wolverton we had, he had a standing thing with his people, his staff, that anybody who was wounded in his district or killed in his district, no matter what service they were in, he was to be notified, right? And he sent a telegram to my mother and father and told them that I was shot. That's when they first found out that I was wounded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you not want to tell them?
I didn't want them to worry.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to tell them where I was shot.
Yeah.
And like that, and I know my mother would have worried. I know that. Well, they would have both worried about it, but I didn't want them to worry.
Yeah.
But then like I said, I give them. Then the Navy sent them a telegram too afterwards, But the Navy, they sent it after Congressman Wolverton did. But he was good.
Yeah.
he was a man that he thought of his people, the people he represented, you know, and they and like he said, everybody that was wounded or killed in his district got a telegram from him. Yeah.
When did you first see your family again?
Let me see. I was shot in March. Let me see. I can't remember the.
Was it before you were
Oh
discharged?
no, it was at least it was 5. Let me see. I was up there. I went from Hawaii to Frisco, from Frisco to Rhode Island, and I was in Rhode Island. I was in there for about 3. It was from March, April, May, June, July, August. I guess 5, 6, 7 months, 8 months before they knew it. I was in the hospital up in Rhode Island, and that's when they. When I was telling you, these are two naval officers, a commander. There was a commander Salle, and then a lieutenant commander Snell. They're the ones that was working on me, and they sent me home. They told me I didn't want to come home, and they ordered me to home, right? So I come home, and that's when I first seen them. Right, and I was in a hospital for 5 months, or for 5 months and 24 days. I was in a hospital. So it was, and then I got shot in March. So I guess it must have been 8 months, something like that, before I seen them.
What was it like when you saw them?
Oh, I was happy. I couldn't hug them long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Then Mom. When they went after they found out where I was shot and like that, what happened? Then we settled down a little bit, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were your brothers there, or were they still?
No, I had my
Serving.
mother and father was the only one. No, my brother Bill, the one in the Navy, he was home because he had a picture of him taken, and my cousin from the Coast Guard, it was in the Coast Guard. He come. They were the only two, and I had a picture of them taken when I was home with my mother and father. And then I went back to the hospital, and I was there another 4 or 5 days or something like that. And they get me out back to duty. They said I was okay to go back to duty. So I went back to duty.
Where did you go then?
I went up to the Navy Yard in Philadelphia. I was there for 3 or 4 days. Then I went down to Camp Lejeune. They sent me down there. That's when I went in the 2nd Division.
Okay.
And I stayed in the 2nd Division until I got discharged. And then I discharged. No, I'm sorry. That was the second time. First time they sent me to Quantico. I was in Quantico in a casual company. And I got discharged from Quantico.
Okay.
That's where I got discharged. My first enlistment. Yeah.
Do you remember hearing about the victory at Iwo Jima? Do you remember how you found out that the battle was over and that the last resistance had been conquered?
No, I really didn't know. When I was out, well, the battle was over before I got discharged, because I got hit 3rd of March, and I think it was 17, 18 more days, something like that, and the battle was secured.
Okay.
In Iwo, as far as Iwo was concerned, because. But then I would, like I said, I was in the 2nd Division, so I didn't know. Quantico, but I didn't know. I didn't know when it was over. I knew the battle was over, but I didn't know the division was going back and forth. You know.
Right. How many of your buddies did not come home? The ones that went in there with you.
I went in by myself.
Okay.
I didn't have nobody with me. I went over enlisted by myself, and the only time I had when my father was with me to make sure I was his son.
But of your friends in the Corps,
Oh,
how many close friends didn't come?
Well, there was a lot. There was There was one up the street up here, Tommy Martin. He got killed on Suribachi. And I don't know if, in the neighborhood here. And there was some on the other ones. A lot of them, it was killed. And I really wasn't friendly. Well, I knew them, but I wasn't like, chummy with them,
Yeah.
But I knew them. Well, I knew their families or something like that. Yeah. But Tommy Martin, his family I knew real well. I knew because his brother Charlie was he went in the Marines. He was in the 6th Division, Okinawa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he came out. He was all right.
Okay.
Yeah, but Tommy got killed. Yeah.
Do most veterans of Iwo Jima have near misses that they remember, where they were very close to being a casualty, but they remember like a near miss?
I don't know. Sometimes you would hear they have a banzai, but like that. But it would be ahead of you,
Mm-hmm.
and you would be behind. But you're always on the alert.
Yeah.
You're always when you hear odd noises or anything like that, you always jump up.
Okay.
And I do it right to the day. If I'm sitting there and I hear that telephone go off, and when it goes off, and I'm not paying attention, I'll jump.
Okay.
Yeah. But so
the article that Ed Collmore wrote
Yeah.
was titled "The Nightmares Linger."
yeah.
Are the nightmares about your wound or your buddies?
It's about the battle. You go in there. It's about where you was at when you got shot. You think that over, and you say, who pulled me down? Who was with me at the time? Who took care of me? Like when I went back to that guy. Now my buddy was telling me there was under a demolition number waterman in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Evo, and he thought that he wasn't sure. But he says he took a wounded Marine back to the hospital ship. It had a head wound. Okay. And my buddy was telling me, he said, my friend, me, he says, he had a head wound. He was taken back in the ship, and I didn't want to put him aboard. He said he might have been the guy that I was talking about.
Yeah.
But we were supposed to get together to have us interview together. But he couldn't make it. He got sick.
Okay.
Yeah. But I love to meet him. I like to talk to him to find out what he really was me. I wasn't sure.
Why do you think the U.S. won the Battle of Iwo Jima? What was it about the U.S. forces?
Well, we were told that it had to be taken account of. They were the plans of aiding Japan. That would have been a key spot, one of the key spots, because planes would have been able to take care of it, and it was only like 70 miles or something like that away from the mainland. So planes would have been there. They would have been, and it was like a jumping off spot, mm-hmm. and it was a rescue spot too.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, planes was coming back, even when we were back when the battle was going on. Planes was coming in, and we had a couple of big planes, like a B-24, landed on there while we were still fighting.
Yeah.
He bombed Japan, and he was running out of gasoline and the fuel, and he couldn't make it back to Saipan, but he landed on Iwo, but he was saved.
Right.
Yeah.
You said the Japanese were good soldiers. Why did we win? Why did the U.S. win that battle? Was it just determination? Was it overwhelming power?
It's what they call the Marine Corps Bulldog termination. We were in a battle. We were supposed to win it. We won it. That's what we were told. That's what we went in there for.
And you all believe that going in?
That's right. They all believe it. Yep. That's what we were taught. Like I said, first went in, when they hand you the rifle, you didn't know what to do with it. Like that, you learn to shoot it. They said every Marine is a rifleman. is a marksman.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you're in. You're a cook, you're a baker, or you're a truck driver, whatever you are. You're a marksman in the Marine Corps. You have to qualify with a rifle. That's a must.
Yeah.
They don't take no for an answer.
Just to be able to do anything the situation requires.
That's right. They give you an order, you do it. Yeah. You know the proverbial, go in a corner to take a crap or something like that? You do it. Mm-hmm. They tell you to do it, you do it. Yeah. That's Marine Corps. That's Marine Corps pride. Yeah.
Now there have been people who've criticized the decision of President Truman to drop the atomic bombs on Japan, and surely that island would have had to be invaded by Marines and other U.S. forces. How do you react? How do you react to that?
I thought that was the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
Because if he didn't drop that bomb, and drop the two bombs, if he didn't drop them, we would have lost an awful lot of people. Not only Marines, Army, Navy, everything. They figured the Japanese had about 5 or 6 divisions ready to defend that island. And they estimated there would have been over 100,000, 100 million people. And would have been killed just by trying to take that island. That's what I said. So he done the right thing.
How did you spend VJ Day? Do you remember Victory over Japan?
Drinking.
You were able at that time to.
Oh yeah, I had my mouth open. Okay. Man, I could drink. Yeah. Oh, we had a bottle. We go around, and everybody was up there patting you on the back, and I was still in the Corps.
Where were you when you found out?
I was home.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was home. Then I got on a bus and went down to Camden, and we went in there, and all the people were around. They, like I say, patting you on the back and giving you drinks and all that. So one guy come up and handed me a bottle, and I carried it the rest of the day.
You polished it off?
Oh, yeah, we polished it off all right. Yeah.
Was there a sense of jubilation or just?
Oh yeah.
Amongst the whole country? I mean, what was that time like?
Oh yeah, everybody they were glad it was over, Especially the families that had people that still was doing the service,
Mm-hmm.
Because like they didn't know if it was going to, the word was it was going to invade Japan, And if we ever did, we'd have been in trouble. Yeah, lots of trouble. Yeah.
What did you anticipate would happen next? I mean, you were still in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Leading up until your discharge, what basically did you do?
Not much. Not really much, Go up there, do whatever you had to do when your time was up, then they discharge you,
What was the date you were discharged?
When I was discharged?
Yeah.
Let me see. I forget when I was. I had it here. What did I do with it?
I think I have it.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. First time I was discharged was February the 5th in 1946.
Okay. And how did you readjust to being a civilian again?
Well, I was off for a while. If I come home, I was laying around for about a month or so, and I was sitting in a bar, and the woman that owned the bar, she knew a fellow was working in RCA. He was a shop steward in RCA, and she introduced me to him and asked him if he could get me a job. He said, yeah. So I went down into the RCA and I was there for almost 20 years.
What did you do?
Oh, a little bit of everything in RCA, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had jobs that people was doing during the war and all like that. It wasn't even on a books, just to try to keep me working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
couple of years later, you made the decision to re-enlist.
Yeah.
Can you describe the reason behind that decision?
I was in a bar.
Okay.
Yeah, naturally the bars, always the bars. But I had a friend, Bobby Wilson. He was a Navy corpsman.
Okay.
And we was drinking. We was having a good time. And he said to me, "Why don't you come back in the Corps?" I said, "No." I said, "No, I don't want to go back there." So then I was starting to think, the way things were going and like that. So I figured, why not? So I went back and I went over Philadelphia again, and I passed all the tests and all that. So they took me back in. 3 years this time. No, not in the duration.
Right.
This is for 3 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever plan to continue and maybe
Yeah.
make it a career?
Well, I asked them when I took the examination over there, and I asked them, I said, "Can I sign up for 20?" They said, "Nope. We got 3 years at a time." At that time I would have signed for 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your family and friends support this decision?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I told them that I was going back in. They said yeah.
What was your where did you serve during the second enlistment?
The second time when I went back, sent me down to Quantico. I went from Quantico. They sent up to Argentia, Newfoundland.
Okay.
And I was up there for 15 months, or 16 months. And then I went from there. I come back to Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. Then from there, the Navy Yard in Philadelphia. Back to Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. The 2nd Division. Went down to Vieques Island, down to Puerto Rico. And on the way back, there was a speed letter. They sent a speed letter to us. They wanted volunteers to go to the Mediterranean. So I was the first one in line. I hated being in the States. I had stateside duty. I wanted to be outside. Yeah. And then from there, that's where we went, over the Mediterranean. Like that.
What was that experience like? Did you get to see a lot? I mean, you get to see a lot of the world that way.
We went aboard a ship called the Monrovia. It was made in the Second World War. And during one of the television shows, they showed the invasion of Italy, right? They showed Patton. Was there General Patton was aboard this ship, the Monrovia, and I didn't think the ship was in that much of a duty, from the Second World War up until '53, up and when I was on it, or '52 and '53, when I was on it.
Yeah.
But like I said, we went from on the ship. We went down to Monrovia, Liberia, and from there up to French West Africa, over to Italy, Sicily, what do you call it, Sardinia, over to Greece, and the island and the ship Greece. That's where we were thinking about. From in there, and then back to France, off the Riviera of France, and then back home.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were your duties primarily during this part of your service?
Well, actually, I was what was that? How was I now? It was like a squad leader, and the third battalion, 8th Marines. That's when we had it. And more or less like helping to carry the BAR.
Okay.
Had a BAR man, and when he got tired of carrying it, I carried it. Like that. But I was more like a squad leader, acting squad leader, not a real, more like an. But that was more like peacetime stuff. You know?
And was this when you were promoted to sergeant?
No, that was just before I got out.
Okay. What rank were you at that time?
Corporal.
Corporal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they wanted me to stay in, but I didn't. I said no.
Why'd you decide to come out after the 3 years?
Reserves. They were sending during the Korean War. They sent they were taking in reserves, a lot of reserves, and the reserves was coming in. They were learning by the book. They were getting all the ranks, they were coming in. Now I come in from when I first come into the 2nd Division, into a mortar squad. They had a sergeant that was come in. It was only in the service, only come back in the service maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but he was a sergeant in the reserves. So they kept him as a sergeant in the Corps, in the regulars. And he was over top of me. I had combat interest. He had no interest, no expertise of the mortars or anything, right? So any of the ones that was in the reserve, I was in the regulars. A lot of them they didn't like the reserves because they were making all the ranks. The regulars, they figured, well, we got you.
Yeah.
The reserves, they give them a rank, and they'll figure, well, we'll keep you. You'll stay in, and that's what they were doing.
So you just weren't happy with that, and you said
no, we weren't happy at all.
And that you would say that's the main reason you decided to.
That was my main reason, yeah.
And so now it's back to civilian life for good.
Yep. Yeah.
Did you look for work once you got out this time?
No, I come out and I went back to like I said, I was going into RCA for 20 years in RCA, 10 years in Cooper Hospital, 7.5 years in Camel Soup.
Okay.
And then I retired. 1990 I retired.
Okay.
I've been retired ever since. Living happy.
Well, how have you filled your time since 1990? What kind of things have you done to just...
Mostly nothing.
Okay.
I painted houses for a while. I helped my buddy and I, we painted houses for a while. And then, and most of the time, after the time, I got out to see my brother and he was in the hospital, stuff like that. But most of the time, it was just hardly nothing.
Okay.
I didn't go back to work.
Did you keep in touch over the years with friends from the Marine Corps?
You tried to, but you couldn't find their addresses. Like I went to find addresses from my buddy, and my buddy said, brought me back or off the ledge and all. One was from Wyoming, the other was in Iowa.
Yeah.
Like that, and they're in Texas. Most of my crew was from the Midwest and all. I would say maybe 5 or 6. It was from New Jersey, New York, or Pennsylvania, or something like that, and that was it. Yeah.
Did you participate, or have you participated in any type of veteran activities or reunions or organizations?
No, I didn't go to any reunions like that. No parades or anything like that. I didn't go to nothing of that. I belong to like 5 different outfits, but I don't go to them.
Okay.
Now I belong Marine Corps League. I belong to Marine Corps League. Well, they even said that's from New Jersey detachment. They don't have any parades or anything in theirs. They just have the gizmos. Then there was the Marine Corps League, and then there was the VFW. Veteran. Oh, that's the Veterans for War. The Purple Heart, and I forget the American Legion. Yeah, but 3 of them I belong to life members of.
Okay.
Purple Heart, VFW, and Marine Corps League. I got Purple Heart. That's all. Life membership.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's it.
Who have you shared your World War II experiences with?
Who?
Yeah.
the Colonel, Colonel Bancroft, Jeff Brown, Gary Cundiff. Okay, we talk once off because they're all servicemen. They're all ex-service. Jeff was a sergeant in the Marine Corps. Gary, he was in a service in the Marine Corps, and mostly Marines. Most of the times, the Marines.
So you share mostly with guys who served, who
can
share that experience.
You talk to them once in a while, like that different one. And my nephew, he's in the Air Force. I had to talk to him.
Okay.
But like I say, I don't go to the meetings. I can't stand meetings.
Okay.
You go to a meeting, you sit there and you listen to a lot of baloney, and they never accomplish nothing. You know. So Marine Corps League, I donate to a lot of them too. I donate a lot to, especially though, Toys for Tots.
Okay.
I hit that a lot. I hit that all the time, and most of the couple other ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How have you seen your experiences in the Marine Corps affect your life? How did the Marine Corps shape your life? Your experience.
Well, like I say, when you go to the Marines, you learn one thing. You learn discipline. Is one thing. And a lot of times, I wouldn't eat a lot of stuff. But when I went to the Corps, I started eating everything. You had to if you go hungry.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, when you come out, you're. I think I'm more gentle, more polite now than I was before I went in.
Okay.
I would ruckus. I'd fight with everybody, and now I'm a lover now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And war made you that way.
Oh yeah, Marine Corps makes you. That's what they do to you. Yeah. Yeah.
There was an article recently in the paper about you, and you were telling me before that you're going to receive an award from Camden.
Camden County, yeah.
How does it feel to receive recognition all these years later?
Oh, I mean, I was like on cloud nine, because for 20 years nobody ever thought about anything like this, right? Then I got this article from the paper. They put that in there. I got calls, and I got Jeff. He set up this here. He set up the colonel, and the colonel's setting up this here. He called me, told me he wants to give me a medal from Camden County. And Jeff, he tried to get Pennsauken into something. They wouldn't even talk to me, Pennsauken. So I don't care about them anyhow. So that was it. And Jeff, and he was, in fact, Jeff Brown, he's the one that gave me this book.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of people. I mean, calling and like that. You see it. It's been a little experience. Yeah. Something I never thought would happen. Yeah.
How often today do you think about Iwo Jima?
A lot of times. Especially at night when I go to bed. If I can't sleep, the first thing that comes to my mind is one of these. What happened when you was going in there, when you was in the service, what happened in Iwo, when you got shot in the hospitals, different things. You think about it all the time. You'll never lose it. You'll never lose it.
Not a day goes by that you don't.
No. The only time I'll forget about it is when they lay me down 6 feet under. Yeah. Then I won't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Have you ever seen any depictions of the battle on film?
Oh yeah.
There's the flags of our fathers.
The flags of our father.
I
I've seen that. I see Sands of Iwo Jima. What was it? There was another one. Clint Eastwood. Well, he's got that Clint Eastwood. He makes a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was the HBO miniseries The Pacific.
Yeah.
That one focused on John Bassel.
Yeah, and then on television they got that there. They had that there, the War in the Pacific, the Second World War in the Pacific, and it showed from island when the Marines were island hopping from one island to the other and like that, showing different battles.
What do you think of the depictions that you've seen on film or on television?
Yeah, most of them are true to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them are true to life.
Does it take you back there when you see
Oh
that?
yeah. And it showed. Oh, another one was letters from Iwo Jima too.
Is that one from the Japanese?
That was all Japanese. Yeah, that was in. That was subtitles. A lot of subtitles in that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Eastwood made that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was written by a Japanese woman. She wrote the book, and they took the book from there. But what they were showing on that, they didn't show the cage. They showed some of them, some of the tunnels, but they didn't show them. They couldn't show them all. They didn't have them. They didn't have them all. That island, yeah, boy, you would never believe it. You look on the top of it, you see nothing. You go down on the ground, you're just like a rat. All you got is that from one tunnel to another, from like that, and you go from one end of the island to the other end of the island, like that, underground. That's why it was so hard to take.
Huh.
Yeah. We lost over 20,000 people there. Over 5,000 dead, over 15,000 wounded. They lost 23,000. So when it comes down to the dead, from the 5,000 to the dead to the 23,000, that's 4-1. That's good. It's good thing. Good odds for the Marine Corps. Yeah.
Your generation has been called the greatest generation. The generation that grew up during the Depression and fought World War II. How do you feel about that title, greatest generation?
I don't think much of it. It didn't do me much credit. Well,
Do you think it's earned? Do you think it's earned?
I would say it would be. Yeah. There's a lot of things that happened in this here area. Yeah, this time. Well, for one thing, you got a black president. Never had a black president before. We got a black president. Yeah. We had presidents quit. They quit their office because of disgrace in their office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to do it all over again,
Yeah.
would you change anything?
No. I'd do it all over again. I'd go back in the Corps again, right tomorrow if they'd let me. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Scullin, I'd like to thank you for the really thorough, full account that you've given me today of your life experience and your military experience. It was definitely an honor to talk to you, and I'm glad that we were able to record this for future generations. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you.